Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Daily Magic. My name is SlytherinKnight, and I'm so happy you could join me. Today's daily is to cast 30 black or green spells, which is really kind of amusing to me, because the last two episodes have been Golgari, and today's not going to be any different. We do have another option, another Golgari deck. This will probably be the last one that we do, just because it was the last one that really kind of caught my attention. So this is a Golgari. Technically, it's a bit of a mill deck just because of the Swarmweaver. You could call it a Golgari insect spider deck if you want, or even potentially a Golgari counters deck. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. The centerpiece card here is the Swarmweaver, focused mainly on its delirium ability, which is why this is also kind of a mill deck. As long as there are 4 or more card types. Among cards in your graveyard, insects and spiders you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. That's just a nice little addition. Makes it to where your opponent really doesn't want to block anything you're doing, and just makes all of your creatures in this deck, except for Hydra, stronger. Molt Tender is a way of getting things into our graveyard with its tap mill, and occasionally, maybe towards the late game when we have a lot of different cards in our graveyard, we can use this for some mana gen, but I don't see it happening that often. Bitter Triumph, Strategic Betrayal, both of those are just good removal. We are running Assassin's Trophy, because this is good for removal of anything. And I did forget to say that this deck list does come from JVillain MTG. He gives a excellent explanation of how the deck is supposed to run, so I'd highly recommend checking that out. Anyway, so those are some of our removals. Another big card here is Hollowmurk Siege, which has its 2 options, Sultai or Abzan. Sultai can act as card draw whenever we put a counter on a creature. Abzan lets us put a counter on a creature and give it menace. Yeah, both of those are good options. Especially because of the card Delta Bloodflies. This is one I hadn't seen before. It's a flyer, and whenever this creature attacks, if you control a creature with a counter on it, each opponent loses 1 life. That synergizes very nicely with Twitching Doll, which, yeah, that nest counter, that's a counter. So every time you're giving yourself mana with this card, you're putting counters on it, which helps with Delta Bloodflies' ability to, helps it do its thing. Broodspinner, just a decent card. Again, another one that is, towards the late game, you can potentially create a lot of flying insects that potentially benefit from Swarmweaver. And then Seedship Broodtender is another thing that's helping us get the cards into our grave to activate the Delirium effect on Swarmweaver. And also, again, late game, you can pull something back from your graveyard. Potentially. I don't really know what the best... Probably Swarmweaver would be one of the better options, or Warden of the Grove, which, at the beginning of your instant, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, it endures X, where X is the number of counters on this creature. Enduring, you can see put X +1/+1 counters on this creature, or create a XX white creature token. So either you're making stronger cards or making other cards stronger as they come in. Spinner of Soul is card draw. Because, things die all the time, especially in this deck. Things are going to die a lot, especially if we're sacrificing things. And that's card draw. Well, it's creature draw, I should say. And then last but not least, Icetill Explorer lets us just play more land. And lets us play land from the graveyard. And whenever we play a land, we mill a card, so you get the idea. Anyway, that's just a brief overview. Like I said, JVillain gives a much better explanation of the deck itself, so please go check that out. But anyway, let's jump to a match. My only kind of reservation with this deck is there's not a lot of heavy hitters, or it's a deck that requires time and patience to get some heavy hitters. So, just be aware. This is an immediate mulligan, no green. Fine. Yeah. No, let's send the Swarmweaver. I have multiple copies of that. I have a lot more copies of that, so... Oh, that's not good. That is nice, though. I'm gonna have to Bitter Triumph. Bitter Triumph is also good because it allows us to discard something in our hand. with Blooming Marsh, and I need to get rid of you. I actually am going to take the pain instead. And let's go ahead and tap this. That would have been nice to have. Can't cast spells during your turn. That's fantastic. I could do that. What would I get rid of, though? No, I think we'll wait on you. Strategic Betrayal, that also would have been nice, but it's a sorcery, so that counts as... So now we have 3 things: instant, creature, and sorcery. Traveling Chocobo, what else do you do? Oh, okay. Hollowmurk. Okay, so let's go. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Whenever you attack with a, yeah, we'll do that. And send out you. Yeah, this isn't going very well, to be honest, so far. Alright, what you thinking? What you thinking? Okay, so they pulled a land from their deck. Or, that was the top card, I guess. They don't have a whole lot of white mana going on here. It's going to die anyway, so might as well mill. That's a land. That actually puts me at 4, but we don't have our Swarmweaver, so it really doesn't matter. Another Hollowmurk. Okay. So I could do that, but I wouldn't be able to play Icetill. I think we're going to do that instead. Rude. I guess pulling. What are they pulling back? The Chocobo? Yep. Yeah, they're trying to decide if they. Yeah. I'm going to take the hit just because I can't lose Twitching Doll at the moment. Okay. And we're actually going to go Soul Tie with this one. I'm not overly pleased with this so far, just to be completely honest. That's great. Oh, that could actually be helpful, so... Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's a good thing we applied Soul Tie to that one, then. Gotta get rid of something. I would say the Chocobo, personally. Really? The lifelink? That I was not expecting. I'm actually surprised that I've been able to survive this long, to be fully honest. Yeah, it gets 2 hits. 2 hits because of Traveling Chocobo. That makes it, what, a 3-4? When it attacks, it'll be a 3-4, I think. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because that triggers... Yep. Jeez. I mean, I was going to lose eventually anyway. I could block the Chocobo and, negate all of that damage. Or... So it just doesn't really matter. And here comes the damage. Or no, that's a draw card. Right, my bad. That's pretty much it at this point, just because... Unless I can get a card to kill that Chocobo, they're going to shelter. That's great. Yeah, who are you going to grab? Twitching Doll, naturally. So if I can get something to kill that Chocobo, which... Okay. Okay, that's interesting. They were still going to attack, because I want that card draw. Spinner of Souls, I can play that. In comes another blocker. Sure, they'll get 8 life coming in, which is really unfortunate, but... Because it'll take them back up to 12. So, what's going on? Is my opponent rage quitting? No, they're just trying to decide. Yeah, they get 10 life, actually. Sure. Let me guess, do they have a way of trampling? If they do, it doesn't... If they have a way of trampling, it doesn't matter. They did not. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, none of those are bad. Sweet, I will take it. Okay. I was not expecting a win there, but I'll take it. I probably could have swung with everything, but I didn't want to risk that, to be completely honest. We had kind of a tried and true. I was completely willing to whittle our opponent down, so I will absolutely take that victory. Thank you very much. With that, though, we are already at past 16 minutes. One match. I don't like doing just one match at times, but another one's probably going to take just as long. So yeah, we're going to wrap up here for today. Ultimately, though, not too bad. Yeah, the deck isn't as bad as... Look, the deck performed a bit better than I thought it was going to, so maybe I'll hold on to it for a little while. Definitely not one of my favorites, I can tell you that, but I feel like it has potential to be something just to play on occasion. So yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, which I do sincerely hope you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you are new to the channel, hello, welcome, and please do consider subscribing. And to stay up to date for whenever new content is released, don't forget to hit that bell icon after you subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next time.